Welcome, Transformer fans. Welcome, Transformer fans. My name is Composite Enerjoe, and today I'll be bringing you my review of the Transformers Cyberverse. Hold on. Cyberverse Power of the Spark Elite Class Bumblebee and his Spark Armor Ocean Storm. And here they are in their, well, in his alt mode, which is just a nice little looking yellow sports car. I don't think this is based on anything. It's just a stylized yellow sports car, which looks very nice. It has nice bits of details all over. Not as many paint apps as I would like it to be, but still it's very nice, and he rolls quite well. So it's very solid little car mode. But then you come to this thing. This is his Spark Armor called Ocean Storm, and this is honestly the reason why I got this figure. I was just so impressed by the look of this battleship. With, as you can see, this piece is like the only negative I have with the look of this thing. And I guess you could say the visible hands, but that honestly doesn't bother me as much. So basically, if you're gonna display this this Spark Armor in its battleship mode, I recommend you're gonna have to display it like this, or at least at this angle. This is basically its good side with the cannons and this part, because it kind of feels like a cop-out that they just didn't put a design on this. Pretty disappointing. But outside of that, this is a very nicely detailed battleship. I am just super impressed with this thing. And supposedly this battleship is based on the its design was based off of the what's it called, the Yamato battleship from the anime Space Battleship Yamato. Don't quote me on that, but when I looked up some information, apparently that's what this is based on, and I kind of see it. If this was maybe an Earth version of that battleship. But yeah, this is just a very cool looking battleship mode. That's pretty much what I'm saying. And Bumblebee here, nice neat little stylized sports car. So in terms of articulation, there are none. Just a Bumblebee can roll, and this thing just sits there looking awesome with all of its nice little details. So Ocean Storm here I'm going to put off to the side, and we can focus on Bumblebee, who has a pretty neat little transformation. So let's get on with it. First things first, you come in here, pop this open, fold these down. And then you come up here and they're supposed to pop this up. There we go. Fold these out. Fold down to reveal his toes. Then push this close down, close that out. Let me lift this up a bit. And now for his top half, you just separate, down, separate, and push down. And then this part's actually pretty cool. You get your nail in here. You basically pop open his back. Then you fold this entire assembly, and then there we go. Then you come on, work with me. Why aren't you working with me? Come on. I was gonna compliment how cool this is. There we go. He just, there we go. Rotate his head. But yeah, that is very awesome how it just collapses that entire centerpiece and just folds it into his chest. Very, very nice. Straighten it out, so put like this. Straighten out his arms. Finagle a little bit with his arms. You can, in the instructions say you can do this for, his heels, but honestly, he doesn't really need them. So I save that for his armored up mode. Then I use them. That's at least what I do. So here we have Bumblebee in his robot mode, and it's a very cool looking Bumblebee. It's a nice little robot mode. What I really like about this is it's the articulation, but design wise, it's just this. It's apparently a pretty good representation of the Cyberverse version of Bumblebee, which is like I guess a more G1 style of a more G1 stylized version of Bumblebee, I guess. But yeah, so here he is, and it's not bad. The articulation wise, head is on a swivel, The shoulders can go up and down. His arms are all, the shoulders are also on ball joints. He has a hinge here, bend at the elbow, swivel at the, I guess, not the elbow, but a little higher than the elbow. No waist. Then the legs can go this far back, this far out, forward, back, swivel there, and a bend at the knee. And if you open this up, the bend goes even further due to transformation. And as these little flaps can move for it to help out the knees. So yeah, he's got pretty good articulation. Oh, and I forgot to mention this earlier, but Elite class is basically deluxe sized. This is a deluxe sized figure. And to show that, I'm gonna bring in some size. I'm gonna do some size comparisons now. Whoops, cliff jumper, stop jumping off cliffs. All right, so here we have, as you can see, Bumblebee is basically a deluxe class figure. He just comes with a deluxe sized spark armor, which really bulks him up when he's wearing it. Which, speaking of which, let's get on with that. So let me lift this up a little more. And this is actually pretty easy, because unlike the battle class spark armor where you just take it apart and then just put it on the figure, this basically automorphs. And how you do this is that you take the Ocean Storm here, take them put them upside down, and then you plug these barrels into these ports, like so. You then straighten out his arms, and all you're supposed to do with the arms is just straighten them out. But what I like to do is bend them, like so. And for this, and the reason why I'm doing it this way is to give more room for his legs. Because with the arms straight down, his legs are kind of, it's just an unnecessary limitation to his legs. And then back here, this is where I pull out his heels. So these I just pull out for his armored mode, because he does get pretty top heavy. And now for this entire assembly, this is all one big automorph. So you just take this, and while it's folding, and then you pop this forward, like so, and then fold it down, and then you clip this into his belly. There we go. And here we have the combined mode. Oh, one extra step. You fold down this anchor, which unclips once the arms are folded out. And then you just unclip the arms. And even though you can't see Bumblebee's standard arms, just finagle this a little bit to your liking. I think if you look at the cover art, the art of this armored mode, the spark armor mode, you don't see his actual arms. I think the idea is that his arms become these new arms. However, the figure doesn't really replicate it that well, so yeah. But yeah, if you fold up these arms a bit, like I'm showing it, you kind of get some little extra arm movement. It kind of compacts the arms a little bit. I don't know, it makes them less noticeable. But yeah, here is his spark armor mode, which is top heavy, which is why here is where I would use these things. And I gotta say, this looks really cool. And unlike the battle mode, and I don't know if I mentioned this in my Skyby review, the battle class figures, the little spark armor takes apart and you attach it to the legend sized figure, where that reminds me of the Siege with their weaponizers. This actually reminds me a lot more of the I don't know if you all remember this, way back in the Transformers Energon days, the brute modes of certain figures, I think they were called command class figures. They were basically like they were like Voyager-sized carrot figures, but came with extra pieces, kind of like this, that they would then use as extra equipment that would really bulk them up. And those were referred to as brute modes. And this is what this reminds me of. This honestly reminds me of like a more modern take of a brute mode. Oh, and a small thing, this little piece here, this tower, can be taken out. And can I thought maybe he could hold it, but yeah, this is gonna be taken out. I don't know what purpose that serves. I haven't figured it out yet. But as if you really want to, you can. Nope, can't hold it. His hands are designed here that you can have him hold something. So if you have something small enough, you can plug him in his hands. And yeah, in terms of articulation, he sort of loses some articulation. This new head, which is very cool, looks like it's got scuba gear on it, can swivel, although on mine it's very stiff. There we go. Pretty stiff, but the new head can swivel, and his new arms can only swivel in and out like so, and has a bend at the elbow. And then this anchor has its own little hinge, but that's pretty much it. So even though he gains mass and, you know, he gains mass with the armor on, he does lose some articulation. However, that still doesn't take away from the cool factor. And he does get a little bit bigger. So let me bring back Ratchet. See, he actually gains a little bit of height here. As you can see, he does gain quite a bit of height. Some height. And we'll get some height and some bulk to him. My figure has kind of weak knees, so he tends to just do that. So just be aware, I guess, when getting this guy, that he might have weak knees. But yeah, you can still balance him, right? So yeah, overall, this is a very nice figure. I really like this whole spark armor idea. I even like it more. Oh, and this spark armor is compatible with the other elite class figures. That's what it says on the box anyway, and it's so simple. I guess it just is. You just sort of flip it over. But that aside, I'm really digging this direction of the spark armors, and I really hope they do more of them. Oh, and I didn't show this off. I didn't notice. He has a bunch of like gauges and stuff on his chest. He has cannons molded in, more cannons. Like the details on this thing is very amazing. Again, the whole reason why I got this was because of this battleship. It looked so awesome. That was the deciding factor between this and like Optimus, who I almost got. But yeah, this figure is just really cool. The Bumblebee by itself is also pretty impressive. It's very articulated for like the type of figure that it is, you know, a Cyberverse figure. And this spark armor mode is very cool. So yeah, like it does stink that he loses some articulation with this thing on, but I mean, technically you can still kind of use the arm, but you're not really supposed to. But yeah, overall, this is a very nice little figure. Very cool. I highly recommend it. Out of the sort of first wave of these Spark Armor Elite classes, that's this one, Optimus and Megatron, I recommend this one the most, then Optimus, and the one I don't really recommend at all is that Megatron, because the Megatron looks really weird in his armored mode. Maybe if you have him on hand, it's a little different, but from what I saw, it was not very impressive. So yeah, solid figure, great figure. I think everybody should get it. Very nice. Very cool little Bumblebee. So yeah, this has been my review of the Transformers Cyberverse Elite Class. Yeah, Elite Class. You know, it was the Cyberverse Power of the Spark. Gotta get used to that. Elite Class Bumblebee with his Spark Armor Ocean Storm. This is Composite Enerjoe signing off. Peace out.